Guys, my name is Grace Black. I am the granddaughter of Evelyn Nowlin.
Black.
The granddaughter of Evelyn Nowlin Black. Guys, it's so powerful. I want to tell you the story about my great-great and your great-great-great-grandfather, Jim Nowlin. Jim was born in 1820. He was a carpenter and a farmer. Jim was bad. This was a very gifted man. He owned over 60 acres of land, and he was the entrepreneur's entrepreneur. This man really knew how to work. He was a true businessman. He paid $150 annually farm wages to 5 laborers. He had 3 oxen, cow, mule, and he produced over 140 pounds of butter annually. He had 6 acres of corn, 6 acres of cotton. He produced cotton, peas. He had 14 hogs, 17 hens, and his major product on his farm was rice. He produced over 400 pounds of rice in this area. He was also a beekeeper and produced honey and wax. His son Ferdinand, who lived next door, did about 10% of his production. So if you look around your family, you see a bunch of entrepreneurs, you look back at Jim Nowlin and say, this guy was a baller. He had it going on. Now, if you look at your history, you'll see some other people throughout the Nowlin family that have done some extraordinary things. Some of the things that we found out about James, we said his son Ferdinand lived next door to him, but James could have possibly come from 2 different areas. Cousin Robbie said we came from Virginia, and then we have another assumption that we came from the Georgetown area, here through William Nowlin, who was a blacksmith. Let me give you 2 assumptions. James Nowlin, he was born again, I said 1820, and his name appeared on the slave rolls in Virginia. He lived on the Hobbit plantation, and he was a household of 5 men and 4 women. So that implied that James had brothers, plenty of brothers. Strangely enough, in the census form, they had James listed with 5 women and 4 men. Strangely, all the women were listed as mulatto, and all the men were listed as black. You guys figure that one out, okay? The other thing, they had James listed as a Confederate soldier. And we found that very hard to believe, but we found out over 65,000 African Americans in South Carolina served in the Confederacy. So there was a possibility that he could have served in the Confederate Army, not as an Army soldier, but he possibly earned his land and his wages through serving in the Confederate Army. So guys, we have a very, very rich history of entrepreneurs. Again, we have 3 major branches. Everybody from the Georgetown branch of the Nowlin family, stand up. Okay, this particular branch, your family knew how to work the rice plantations. They were powerful. There were over 110 Nowlins in your area, growing, thriving, and doing extremely successful. Give the Nowlin Georgetown family a hand. I'm talking so fast, but there's so much history and so little time. I want to get this all in very quickly. The second family, we have Mr. Thomas. I'm sorry, let me get this right. Mr. John Nowlin, a free man of color, born in 1822 in Sumter County. He was also an avid farmer and a carpenter. Will the members of this family please stand up? John Nowlin, William and Sarah Nowlin. Okay. The children were the Lynchburg Nowlins. Give them a hand. As I said, John was also a carpenter, and he was possibly Jim's brother. Now, Jim and Celia Nowlin. Celia came from North Carolina, and Jim, as we talked about before, had a sister. Her name was Emmeline or Angeline Nowlin, and she married, oh my gosh, a Muldrow family over in Sumter, and they had over 200 relatives. So when you go to Sumter and you run into Muldrows, those are your family, okay? Also, guys, let me introduce the Penny and Ferdinand Nowlin. Penny was Ferdinand's wife, and her last name was Timmons. Her family came out of Timminsville, South Carolina, and she's Willis Rebecca Timmons. Okay, so Ferdinand, will the descendants of Ferdinand now, please stand up. If you're a Serena Nowlin, Henry Nowlin, Estelle Nowlin, Julia Nowlin, Victoria Nowlin, Rose Nowlin, Herman Nowlin, Thomas Nowlin, Joshua Nowlin, Lester Nowlin, and Hattie Nowlin, you are a descendant of Ferdinand and Penny Timmons. Give these guys a hand. Now, we also have a branch out of Marion. Any of the PD Nowlins around? There are quite a few. Their history is also very deep. That's what we're doing. We're compiling all of this and putting it on Facebook. If you link to us on Facebook and Ancestry, you'll see your ancestry tree of all the different Nowlins, and you'll be able to talk and communicate. We did a launch about 3 months ago. We had people all the way from California tapping in, trying to figure out who their descendants was. It's so important for you to know who your people are, because those who do not learn from their history will soon be condemned to repeat it. Thank you guys so much, and you will see more about this on Facebook and Ancestry.com, where you can see your family tree as it grows and grows. So it's 355 members in Ancestry. There are 555 documents that talk about birth certificate, death certificate. You get to actually see things out of the birth certificate. You get to see Ferdinand's land deed. All this information is available, and you'll be seeing it very shortly. Thank you so much.